Very good. Welcome to another AEGIS Sunday art stream. Today, as we prepare to try and get the full tabletop simulator demo out within the next week, I'll be doing the last of the placeholder art for I think I like a level, like 2 level 2s and a level 4. I'll take it. I'll point those out in a second. The computer fan just stopped overloading, so that's good. So let's see here. Workshop. Alright, so I'll be using this one over here as my canvas. So we have 2 robots in the file today, plus like level 4. So we got 2 ES and GI. Yeah. Alright. So 2 new level 2 robots are in. It's whatchamacallit. One is an ES and the other one is an IS. Types of which we haven't we don't have a lot of in the game. Really, there's one ES in the game currently, and there is one IS in the game currently. So we are doubling down and putting another one of each in the game. And then almost every level 2 type at that point will have at least 2 copies of it. I think the only one that will have 1 is AS. Off the top of my head, everyone else should have at least 2. Actually, I think EG... Nope, EG also has 2. Yeah, alright, so everyone except for AS gets 2. So, let's see. We got the Esha one. So, the 2 that are going in, there's an IS Sen, which is so a Sen can more easily go into his level 3 form, which we affectionately call Laser Bird. Hello, robot family. How are you two doing today? Alright, so let's see here. What does an IS type Sen look like? So, this is yet another energy burn robot, I believe, off the top of my head. We have a few different designs for him, but the energy burn version is probably the relevant one. So, let's talk about Sens real quick. The Sen class of robot is it's an S-type. It's actually mainly for offense. Sens are offensive backline laser robots, whereas Snows are more supporty. Sens usually will focus on damage and being offensive. Kinda like SSMs. Sens and SSMs are similar in that way, where they don't really support. They support by covering you from behind, but they don't have like buffs and stuff. And I actually have a pretty decent concept for this robot in mind in my head already. So we'll see if we can actually get it going. Sens are cool because they look like laser pointers. Dun, 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 dun. Accompanying me today is Ghibli Jazz, a track that no one's ever heard before on this stream. It's very new. Yeah, sends look like big old laser pointers. That's sort of the initial idea of them. They still have elongated bodies like other S-types sort of do, but their legs are more in the front, and then they have long tails. Do. What is this big burly E-type? Or is that the other one that was on screen before? So yeah, the IS type I'm doing is called Sen. He's a Sen. It's gonna be a laser robot. It's gonna do energy burn. And then the E-type that's getting the ES robot is the Esha, and the Esha is a cool robot in that it blows itself up. That's all it does. You can play with it and try to 1-for-1 people, and that's basically strat. It can combine in a pinch into an ES type. And it's actually this, so the ES type concept that we have for him is interesting. It's a different spin on level 2 combines, where it's almost like you're combining into it as a utility tool rather than a usable robot. Though the robot definitely does stuff. It's very effective. But it's not for like, I'm gonna send him out and engage in combat. You'll see in a bit. We have had that robot designed for a few weeks, but he just hasn't actually shown up in any relevant stream. We've used him in playtesting and stuff though. Let's see. Make this robot look like a laser scorpion. Could make it like this. Yeah. Hi, Sebastian and Henry. They're watching the stream with me today. Sebastian, Henry, you should thank Steve for giving you the great privilege of watching this. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing well over there. I have all this pressure. I have to like actually produce art. So let's see if I can do June. Bill J, bring me the laser. Need him for reference. Control T. So basically, I'm making an evolved version of this robot. If this laser pointer robot were a Pokemon, I would be making. He would be Squirtle, and the robot I am drawing today would be the Wartortle version of him. And that's the idea. Because we already have the Blastoise version of him designed, but he has no middle. So, and the Blastoise version of him is a little hard to actually combine into at the moment, so he needs a better halfway point. And the easiest way to give a robot a good halfway point is to just, you know, actually make it literally give it a halfway point. Just make it the same robot, but with one fewer letter. Just standard hole filling stuff. I just realized that this kind of reminds me of Goma from Zelda. Like, if you just had a big some eye instead right here, it'd be Goma, and then I would go like this. And then you go like this, and then you go full of crab claws. I like how I just failed at drawing a crab claw. I'm sorry. There you go. There's Goma. Let's see. Been doing a lot of stuff this week. We'll see if my brain and my hands can remember how to draw. Though I was pretty pleased with the big man we did last week. He looks pretty cool. Master Kaelor, where are you anyway? Where you're turning me into a feature film to be watched by many people. I think you just said so in the chat, but I forgot. This is why doing concepting ahead of time is valuable. I actually totally have a concept for this IS send somewhere in one of like our level 2 robot art bibles. And he was just like an unused robot concept for a really long time. I was looking for him before the stream, but it's like I have no idea what the file is. I'm pretty sure I know where it is, but I didn't feel like sifting. So just trying to remember it via memory, I guess. See, IS types are super cool because I've only ever really, I haven't drawn a lot of them. Along with ES types. I've wanted to draw more ES and IS robots. It's like all the robots that are like partially A-type are really obvious to draw. They're usually just some variant on some cool humanoid guy. But when you get to like the weirdo combinations between like E, G, I, and S, those are some of the more interesting ones to concept out because they end up being like more like weird animals or like drones. You know, I wonder if I should just leave the Goma eye there because it's kind of cool. It was only intended to be a joke, but it does make the IS type look a little bit creepier. I give it like these little antennae things because the level 1 has it on its tail over there. And let's see, actually, I forgot I fixed the, I finally fixed my video capture last week, so that means I can actually browse through my files over here, so I can give context. So here's the level 3, he turns into a bird. Oops. So here's the dinky one, and here's the large one. The goal will be to make this robot look like that, but halfway. So I need like a version of him that just pretty much doesn't fly. Alright, I see what I'm gonna do here. I think I like that tail, but maybe we'll bring it back. Let's see. Hit +1 to go my. If it turns out super scorpion-y. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about how Vatis's robot is vaguely a scorpion. Pretty funny. There's actually not very much I-type in this level 3 robot, except for how it has some like antennae. The original name for that level 3 robot was actually an AEGIS, and that was the name of the robot. But it doesn't really work because the only level 2 IDA in the game is an AI type. And it'd be weird to have an AI type IDA in the set that couldn't become its level 3 because that thing is an EIS. So it just ultimately cut down to just being an IDA level 3. It cut down to being a Sun level 3 instead. You can still see some elements of IDA though. It has like this bird face. That's why it has like looks like a big stinger and things like that. Maybe one day we'll just release a variant of it with the same art that's an IDA Sun and has like some cool different stuff. Kinda like the Commander variants. Well memed. Let's see here. Only the one turns out super scorpion-y. I actually like the scorpion tail a little bit more too. Just wondering if it'll... The main concern is, will it look too weird if the level 3 doesn't have the scorpion tail also? Just sometimes. But honestly, it's not like it's not like Pokemon doesn't do that all the time either. Whatever happened to Wartortle's fluffy ears and tail, he just gets them for like 5 seconds and then he loses them when he turns into Blastoise. So maybe I will go with the curvy tail. We'll do this. I'm gonna draw over the T-Rex tail on a different layer. I'm going to turn the different ones off and on, and then we can have a vote. Then I can put like the usual I-type sinewy junk in between the tail segments, and that's pretty neat. Ida is, the level 3 is lacking the sinew, because the sinew is actually... Universally putting sinew everywhere is more of a recent addition. Recent as in like, at least after that robot was drawn. That robot was drawn a while ago. Let's see, what goes at the end of the tail? I guess it also kind of makes sense because it looks like the level 1's tail is like slightly segmented too-ish. So I can tie that in. I just don't want the tail to end in like, this is a thumb. We can have like some sort of scanner satellite dish or something. I forget, this robot has 2 attacks, and I just don't remember what the second one is. I think it has 1 laser, and then it has a main laser, and I think it actually has a secondary attack that's more of a close range or a not a laser. Because only Snows have to have 2 or 3 symmetrical lasers, but Sens are more freed up to do other things. Do. Oh yeah, that's right, the thing. Dink, dink, dink. It's actually kind of fun to watch. Ah! Yeah, you guys can decide whether you want the Scorpio tail or the Rexy tail. And of course the other option is to just yell, if neither looks good, you just yell at me, you draw better. And that will be the thing. I feel like a spider crawling up my leg. He has like these kind of foot guards on his level 1 that follow up to level 3. Actually, funny enough, there are no Ica combines or SAR combines, I'm sorry. But to be honest, I was hotly debating making, this IS type an Ica combine. but then we had a little bit of trouble figuring out what an IS type ICA actually does. Or like, we had like some good ideas, but not stuff that would like fit in the core set. We definitely have a good idea for an IS ICA in the future. And then swords are just bad at combining. But we do also have, I actually have concept art for level 3 swords, I think. Actually, no, we actually do have a level 2 sword art that's colored and everything. It was drawn a very long time ago. But it is of a robot class that is, we don't have any room for it. But it'll come out eventually. I did want to put in the IS type ICA was actually really relevant though, because with the addition of Vatis, we have 3 ICAs in the set, and that's usually conducive to helping us put in a... That's usually conducive to, whatchamacallit, us putting at least one combine option for it, but right now ICA just has no combine options. It's very sad. I still can't quite remember what this robot's second attack was. It might be a movement action. It might be. I have to look at the file. But if it is, the movement action, you can count this as the ICA combine. Dun dun. And of course, as long as we ever make, when we make some expansions there, I'm sure we'll have more formalized combines for some of the new commanders too. Combines for like... Combines for Vatis and Jurlan. At least. I think those two are the ones that would want combines the most. And then maybe Tiger Bros for number 3. Jurlan especially though needs his big man. And like Luxiana, not incredibly high priority for a combine, since it's almost like she's like almost designed to just be like, I'm a level 1 fighter. And I can do all sorts of junk with my ability already. And then we already in for Sheridan, who pilots a salve. We already have like a level 2 salve and a level 3 salve. There's no real rush in getting her a specific salve combine. She has plenty of options, as is. But yeah, ICA combines on the short list. What does Jurlan do? To be honest, I should make the Ichthyosaur will be... The Ichthyosaur will be a present just for you, Reggie. I'm gonna go on that suggestion and make the Ichthyosaur. It's gonna be a... God, what a monstrosity that would be. Well, actually, you know, now that you mention it, something very important just sparked in my brain. I think the Ichthyosaur might be a thing, actually. Ah. Yes, good. Also why I like these streams, it helps me think. If the Ichthyosaur ever happens, you can thank You can thank Master Kaylor. Because it has a significantly higher chance of being a thing than it did 5 minutes ago. I'm gonna be as cryptic as I can possibly be. Not in the core set though. Ichthyosaur is not in the core set. But the future? The combining intensifies. A plague of houseflies in your apartment. That sounds miserable, I'm sorry. So Goma Eye can stay. Probably the Scorpion Tail can stay too because it's sweet. And then maybe I'll actually like add like some electrical whatchamacallits from like these two tail things. It's like what this guy, I wonder if does he look balanced enough? Because it doesn't look like he's gonna fall over. I think when I did this guy's art before, I did something slightly different with his legs. Let me see if I can do something real quick. Did they give him 4 legs before? I don't think so. I might have just bent him like this and put his legs a little bit further back. I can also just make sure that the legs are... Also, these ball bearings do not count as wheels. There are no wheels in Aegis land. Alright, so that's at least. So that's like a good pause point for this guy. Let's go over to Esha. So I have some really great. Actually, it's a good thing we're doing an ES for this guy because I have a really great level 3 that I want to do for him. That I drew concept art for a long time ago. It's actually different from we actually had an AEGIS Esha that almost made it into the set, but then it was cut for Big Man Meat Hands that I drew last week. So maybe he'll see the light of day one day. But even better is that I have this really cool guy that looks like a Dragonite that I really wanna see print one day, even though I'm not really sure what he does. Esha, they're flying bombs. That's all they do. Fly and explode. They are the epitome of disposable E-type. It's just like old, not really. It's like E-jets are disposable E-types. Let me think. These guys are disposable E-types. Luxiana's a disposable E-type. That's the thing, you want... E-types are made for players who wanna, like... At least some of them are. E-types are made for players who wanna, like, weigh the pros and cons of sacrificing one of their 5 robots for possibly greater good. Just strategize around that. So I have this great level 2 that's an ES type for Esha, right? And it's actually it's functionally just a cruise missile. And it's pretty funny. I might want to take a pause for a second to see if I can actually find those. Totally have archive. Alright, let me see. Where are my level 2's? Because this design was good and I don't want to play around for 3 hours trying to figure out how to not make it look incredibly suggestive. This one was crawling on my leg. Let's see. So yeah, Esha's. How did Esha come to be? Esha was one of the very last robots made for the original launch of the game. He was like made to be a whole filler robot. We had an empty slot when we had like our original like group of 80 dudes, or 60 dudes. We had 60 robots in the first release. We had an empty spot that was like, we need a robot here, and I think the math worked out to it needed to be an E-type. And oh, hey, found it. Sweet. Oh yeah. Oh hey. Alright, that's cool. I found the original art for the Sen 3000 I was just drawing, and I now remember what its tail was doing. Other than that, it looks pretty much exactly the same to the thing I just drew. And then the ES type and Esha. Ooh, yo, that looks cool. Alright. So ES types look like spaceships. Essentially, the running theme with ES types is that they look like spaceships. And so we actually have one that I wish would go in, but it's gratuitous. We have an ES SSM that I would want to do, and it's cool because it totally looks like a space battleship. Like it looks like the Daigerin or something from Gurren Lagann. It's just like but like a miniaturized version. I think ES types get the benefit of having sweet wings. They're the only level 2 class that gets really cool looking wings. Whereas the EG types are mostly big and bumbling or like armored and don't really get like wings per se. And AE types can have wings, but they usually just end up being more humanoid, so they lose the actual airship feel. And then EI types end up looking like crazy bugs. So yeah. ES types are the only ones that really end up looking cool like Vic Viper. Because like ES types, ironically, I think they're the, aside from AE types, AE types and ES types are the fastest level 2s. And sometimes it doesn't actually. It really doesn't make a huge amount of sense, because like, why wouldn't ES types be really slow, just like EG types sort of are? The way they would inherit the S types is really bad movement. Well, S types share the ability double move with E types, because they're secondary in having double move. There's nothing explicitly that says S types have to be in the back, it's just sort of... Anything with super long range weapons has lower range, but if we have an S type with a shorter range weapon, then it can have longer movement to compensate, as I believe. So it's actually all about kind of measuring effective range. So S-class robots are a little bit more variable about what they can do, or E-type robots will always have short range, and always have short range weapons, they're never going to have long range weapons. Whereas S-types can have both short and long range with stuff to compensate. What is going on? How do I have an idea. I'm smart. I'm gonna print screen this guy. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go like this. Whoops. I'm gonna go like this, and just actually capture him. This thing looks like... Anyone ever see a bourgeois? Like the breed of dog? That's what that reminds me of. It's like the gangliest spaceship ever. But this one has the cooler silhouette. I'm gonna see if I can refine this one a little bit, since it was drawn at like the size of a thumb. That's sweet pixelization. So yeah, things... So yeah, production stuff. Let me think. Well, I'd give this guy some work. Well, I'd give this guy the work over. I'm over committing to the quality of the robot list. When in reality, we possibly should have just sent out a list of just stuff, and maybe like a sentence or two a piece. I'm like writing like a full-on like article about each robot, not each show. Actually, each show just gets like 2 paragraphs about like the show's premise and what the robots in the show are like. But it's a little bit more time consuming than I thought it was going to be. So, sorry that's not out yet. But if I can influence your media watching habits in any way, then I suppose it's worth it. But also trying not to make it get in the way of important production stuff. So, the list might also have to... We have to get China some files within the next day or 2. So I might shelve the list yet again for like a minute while I finish that. Sorry, I keep like the Borg, the Aegis guy, a level 5 quintuple G type. Would make a fun expansion or set of expansion. Oh, okay. Future content question. Are we gonna see bots combined with the same types? Level 4 SSS. So multiple letter combines. I mean single letter. How do I even say that? Same letter combining is definitely a thing that we could do. But it kind of opens the can of worms where if we do one, then all of a sudden that there will be expectations and requests for more. And the thing about multiple letter combines, I mean single letter combines is that there is literally like an infinite number of them. Not infinite, but it makes our combine options go from like 31 to like several thousand. So I'm pretty tentative on doing them for that reason. But it's distinctly not impossible. Such a thing would work within the rules. Just fine. I think it is probably something we will tackle in the future. In a way, some way, shape, or form. It would indeed allow us to do an AEGIS combine. 9 robot combining. It totally does look like an upside down ray gun. Should look less thick because it's actually supposed to be a fin. Something I got caught up on watching today was they finally have the Steven Universe stuff from Comic Con up on the YouTube machine, so I had to stop and look at that real quick. Now there's a show that can subvert expectations. It's yeah, it's a show, alright. Robot and breeding. Yeah, pretty much. It's like it's like pretty fun to imagine what like a double A type would look like, or like a triple E type. And yeah, they would look like ridiculously over-designed like shoot 'em up planes. And it's pretty funny. That's the other thing about single letter combines is we need to figure out how to double down on the robot's strengths and weaknesses at the same time. So like a double A type would probably be restricted to just like melee attacks. And melee attacks on one guy. And whatever other stuff that A types are good. So it would never be able to hit multiple guys. It would probably... it runs the risk of just making a very powerful robot that's accidentally out of color pie, too. Maybe we'll do like a singular cycle of like a double A, a double E, a double G. And like the double A is a melee guy that gives you no energy. And the double E is a guy that only really moves very far, but for free. And the double G guy can just be a gon with like 10 HP instead. And like triple beacon, whatever that means. Double I type. You even know what a double I type would do? It's actually funny, like these super doubled down on what the classes do good concepts are actually kind of what we do for commanders. At least it's kind of like what we did for like the first 5 commanders, where like Ixa does like super I-type things and has the I-type, or had like an I-type sort of commander ability. Gamund is like the most G-type there has ever G-typed. He has a long-range cannon and a magnificent push. Etwall's like, I'm gonna blow you up really hard and I'm going to move really, really far. Einer's like, I'm going to run up and do like mad damage. It's like some of that like mechanical design space is already been explored a little bit. How do we make this guy the most A-type? Double I would just play chess. Yeah, I like the idea of double I just giving you telepathy. No, the double I just has to have your opponent say their strategy out loud, and you have to say okay. And if you don't say okay, they have to try something else. But yeah, I think Reggie asked, what was it, something the other day. Oh yeah, that's right, we tested Jurlon. Jurlon's cool. At least one of his versions is cool. Basically just, like, the idea behind his combine is he gets stronger. Not his combine. His commander ability is that he gets a little bit stronger. Or does something cool every time your allies combine. And that's kind of like the idea. So we have 2 versions. One gives him like an Etwall-esque buff where his energy and movement get permanently go up every time allies combine. And then the other one that we wanted to try out, or have tried out in the past, is combine from your ally robots can combine from 3 spaces away, which allows you to do all sorts of stuff. Actually, it's pretty impressive for an ability. It adds a lot of gameplay. And then he also has the extra added text where he gets a power boost and a heal if your allies combine with that one too. So there's either like he gets real strong whenever you combine, or he gets a minor buff whenever you combine, but your combining is overall better. Other than that, his robot itself actually just punches stuff. He's made to fight guys, and that was actually one of the things we were struggling with the playtest last time. Is like, you want him to fight dudes, and you don't want him to just keep. You don't want to just keep him in the back. He's supposed to be like the vanguard. So, making him feel good as a frontline guy is important. Can that work through walls? That's the question. By current wording, yes, it can work through walls, which is pretty good, potentially. If we don't want it to work through walls, it's as simple as adding like 2 words to the ability. But I'd try it the potentially degenerate way first and see if I'll bring it up with Jesse, but it is something we talked about, and I'm not entirely sure it's broken. I think that just might make him cool, but it might be broken. I'd be interested in seeing how he does in the live beta, aka the tabletop sim demo. Get out the print and play for this today. Yep, the print and play will also be hitting as soon as we finish all sorts of stuff. Trying to keep on schedule. However, we are a small team and it is difficult. Nothing is running super behind though. We'll see how that changes when we actually get to working with China for full production. But so far they're like, man, they crack a lack on responding and giving us iterations and answers on stuff. So I think the production might go pretty smoothly. Hopefully we won't just have to hopefully we won't have to redo stuff a million times or whatever. Is that the common thing? Find out that the stuff doesn't quite fit in the box. Which I don't think it actually does at the moment. We might have to make the box like a ½ inch taller. Or thicker, rather, whichever. The box is gonna end up being really similar to the Sentinels of the Multiverse box. I actually asked Chris Bedell, it's like, so what do you think of that box size that you've been using? And he's like, it's a great box size. I'm like, A+. Ours was already pretty much the same dimensions, except it's landscape instead of portrait. But their box is thick enough where the cards can stand on their sides for organizational purposes. And that might be what we need to do. Sky whale, living in the ocean. It is a great box, can confirm. Excellent. God, Chris Bedell is like the coolest guy. Oh yeah, that's right. Did I just randomly break out into like the Narwhal song? Because I swear to God I do that. I don't actually remember doing it. Oh yeah, no, yeah, I was saying Skywell, Skywell. Alright. So this guy is an Esha, and we'll just have it. The thing about Esha is, yeah, gotta like add all these like little holes. Because the whole thing about Esha is they're supposed to be like brimming with energy, like they're about to explode at any point. But yeah, this is Esha. Is gonna be a cruise missile. This fin is bothering me, in that I don't understand if it's in perspective or not. There we go. That's a bit better. When I was taking character design courses in Robot Pencil, they taught me something about you're not supposed to when you're designing stuff, your brain can accidentally make you make everything very evenly spaced because your brain wants everything to be very evenly spaced. But the best character designs kind of work in like thirds, where you'll have a medium thing, a small thing, and then a large thing, instead of like a medium thing, a medium thing, and a medium thing. So he took some of my character designs and like, let's measure this nose real quick. And you would find out that like a lot of details on characters end up being like the same size. Like if you like look at this like thing on the character's shin, it'll be the same size as this thing on their arm, or this thing on their chest. And it's just something that I never noticed about my own art before. It's very hard to break the habit of, because your brain really does want everything to be very uniform. Like these two wings should be different sizes because of like perspective. And then like, then this wing ends up being that same. But then I also don't want it to end up looking like that one that I just nixed on the other layer, where it ends up looking like a bourgeois. This is where the warp tool in Photoshop is very handy. Warp tool! It's easier than just redrawing the stupid plane wings over and over again until I get them right. I can just adjust, blur my eyes until I have like the perspective that I want. I'm trying to get boxes for my board games to protect them since I hold them all in my car. You hold all your board games in your car? Why? I mean, I would just make sure your car locks, I guess. I mean, someone will break into cars for anything, man. And then they'll just take whatever's in there, and then they just sell it to a pawn shop or whatever. But board games are also heavy and cumbersome, so... maybe they aren't as high risk of a theft item as you'd think. Robots, robots, robots. Just a relaxing Sunday afternoon. 95,000 degrees out. Kids are getting antsy. Should it be up on YouTube later for me to finish? Yeah, the streams are always up on YouTube whenever you export them, and if they're not on YouTube, they stick around on our Twitch page for an extended period of time. Thank you for coming in. Let's see, so Missile Dolphin I'm also calling pretty much all set in terms of the Lord said good enough, and I'll slap some color on him before the end of the stream. And now, like, the fun part comes where some of these lines are still jaggy as heck. So we'll go over those real quick. Bomb Dolphin. Now holding a contest for nicknaming this robot. I actually had like a really big like mental thing recently where I'm like, I really want to put a nickname on every robot card. So you could call like the Salve 1000 Miss Wonder Swan in an official capacity. So each robot would then have a name. I figured that's just adding more stuff to the card. And adding an inordinate amount of time for me to think up proper nicknames for every robot. Anyone ever see that episode of a documentary on how they made that episode of South Park about the Obama McCain election in like 6 hours? Or like 6 days? Or was it in like 2 days? I forget. Like, he was either Matt or Trey. That's like, I hate everything we make. But I know if I spent 4 weeks longer on it, it would only get like 5% better. That's how I feel. What if I took an extra 3 weeks to add names to every robot? And then make sure they're templated properly on the card. That'd be cool. I think the actual solution is to just make sure the robot names are more identifiable. So I still want to like... What did Breeze just say? I don't know, what did I just say? I want to have one of the Aegis bots grabbing this bot to use as a pew pew gun. It's a fin, not a gun. It's a reverse dolphin. It's like a dorsal fin. You freaking... You sieves? I don't even know what a sieve is. Sorry, I called you guys sieves. I wonder if I was talking away from the mic and I had a big long monologue about how done is better than perfect. And that spending a few extra weeks adding another fine detail to all 100 robots is probably not a good use of time. Do. No, probably not. Yeah, the Obama episode being made in 2 days was crazy. And then they like do the same thing with like a lot of their other episodes where they just like make them in a week. And I guess everyone else just goes on freaking vacation. I don't even know what they do the rest of the year. Maybe it's just Matt and Trey that show up for that like 1 week, or that like set of weeks where they make episodes. I know what everyone else does though. It seems like everyone else would have to be really, really attuned to that rigorous schedule. But like, where does this whole seasoned veteran South Park team go? Like, for 70% of the year, where they're not making episodes? Anyway, this jerk is done. So then we have... We have a level 4 I need to draw. We have 2 new level 4s. One of them already has decent art. The other one doesn't. So let's see. Similarly, the other level 4 is currently an Esha. And we'll see how it goes. Unless we change it to something else. But currently it is an Esha. Alright. The level 4s are always fun to draw. We kind of have a loose concept for it in my head, where it's sort of like the whole thing behind this robot is that I'm pretty sure it's going to be a giant Empire flagship, and it's going to be very huge. Where, if I could, you kind of see like some kind of big flagship guys like in the background of the Imperial Realm splash image for the banner. Yeah, this guy is going to be an AEGIS, and an AEGIS robot is distinctly something that is very unique in that it's the only level 4 robot that is not humanoid, because it is missing the A-type aspect of it. And God, if I can remember what it's supposed to look like. But yeah, giant battleship. So let's see. Level 4s are always hard because they have a lot going on, but you still have to make them look like a very distinct silhouette. Dram. Well, let's see. Maybe I'll just do my exercise where I'm like, I don't know what it's gonna look like, so I'm gonna draw black scribbles all over the thing, and then I'm gonna refine it from there, because I have like a rough idea in my head of what I want it to look like. And I know which level 3s can make it, but an easy way to give scale for level 3, 4, and 5 is to just make the head really small. So I'm gonna like make like this giant monstrous body. Speaking of monsters, they in the new Steven Universe art book, which is like one of the coolest things ever, they reveal what the cluster would have looked like if it awoken, and it's like this Lovecraftian horror monster, like the size of the city, and it's like, okay, wow. That would have given kids nightmares for sure. Wonder if they chose not to awaken it just for the sake of that. It's like, you know. into a world of Terry Crews. How does one back into the world of Terry Crews? Alright, let's see here. Concept hard, concept fast, concept strong. I think I have... So one of the things about level 4 is like giving people reasons to play them for like multiple things. Obviously you want to play them because they're like good and strong, but having like full reasons to play them too. Like if you wanted to have like a big combined rondo game, or just like a big game in general, and you wanted to like roleplay the Imperial Realm. I thought it would be wicked cool to have sort of a robot that distinctly represents the Imperial Realm, like super big class of like Sky Dreadnought. And like canonically this is the first level 4 to be unlocked is the Algelian. Ah! So this would have to be unlocked somewhat time after the conflict with Outlaw is over. Or this conflict with like the Stellaris Sun story. And of course there's my computer. What even is this? Don't worry, you're gonna see. It's gonna like form into a piece of art, I promise. Maybe. Maybe. Ugh. It's so hot. It's like my computer can't deal with this room right now. I just need like a bag of like cold peas to put underneath my computer, apparently. Let's see. Maybe if I do it, maybe instead of blobbiness, I start with a orthographic. And I like try to like draw and figure out what it looks like from the side. That could work. This thing is gonna be monstrous. It's like right, like there's like this thing on the side where it looks like an Imperial Star Destroyer floating above the Empire with their giant bird bath cities. I don't want it to actually look like an Imperial Star Destroyer because that'd be lame. What is this? Over in the AEGIS Discord, Mepstein has drawn me a fabulous piece of robot art. So let's see here. My computer pen is very distracting, and I don't like it. Stop making noise. Is there a thing in the registry I can go to just turn off my computer fan? That's smart, right? I call Amp and Boomer the guy who turns sounds he doesn't make into Sonic Blast, and his pet dog Boomer who's really good at barking loudly. That's pretty cool. Superhero concept. Whoops. Gonna get these concepts done if it kills me. One of the original ideas was that it's actually supposed to be more like a flying castle. With like 2 bands around it. And it has like 2 heads down here. One thing that I've never actually done is I've never done exploratory concept art for level 4's. I've done it for level 3's, I've done it for level 5's. The level 4's are so like oddly contextual that it's hard to think of concepts for them. Yeah, I'll get right on that, Mepstein. As if drawing like cylinders isn't hard enough, I'm gonna draw this complex skyship robot with like 500 parts and 3-point perspective. So honestly, it's like kind of what I kind of want to do with it anyway. Is like I just want having it being seen from the bottom makes sense because Esches, if this is level 4 Esche, then one of the things that Esches have is that their faces are on the bottom of them rather than top. You could make it look like Sky Sovereign. The absolute biggest. What a level 3 Esche. Maybe I'll just use the art for the level 3 Esche and add some doodads. Call that the level 4 Esche. Nah, probably not. Just draw Discworld. But also just open up the big level 3 document where I have like a million level 3s concepted and draw from that. Since I do have a few level 3s I could potentially adapt into level 4s, like various AEGIS types. Here's another sketch where you're not going to be able to see what is actually going on until I refine it, but I think I have an idea here. I think, the cool things about level 4s, I think level 4s can actually be bigger overall than level 5s. Because they're missing that final component that keeps them in check. It's like having, like, what's a good size comparison with, like, Excelgon? Because I would want, like, Excelgon to be about Excelgon, the level 3 AEG type. Probably be about, not necessarily this size, but it's like a little too much. Here's my little Excelgon. So if that's like Excelgon, and this is roughly Etwall. Actually, I keep forgetting that level 3s are not that big. Like a roughly an Etwall. This makes sense for like, yeah, about as big as his head or something. Make an Etwall standing on this guy. That big. That may actually go a little bit bigger. And say human proportion. Oh, thank God, my fan finally stopped. Let's see. Yeah. Not like it's a helicarrier or anything. But I guess it could be. And the fan's already picking back up again. Rip. That has to look similarly intimidating to I guess the other level 4s aren't really that. The Andrida actually just looks like a souped up level 3, which was the intention. The SSM 8000 looks absolutely massive. And the Algelian just looks creepy. Creepy. This one has to look just reasonably iconic. It has to look like a spaceship. It'll have like this ring around it. Do-do. Yeah, and like so that's I think that's where the I-type will come in, where this is like this was like an EGS type, and then like the addition of the I-type is that it has kind of a has like this floaty bit above it. Like a Yamato cannon? No, it doesn't actually have a... In terms of gameplay, it doesn't have a giant fire laser thing. It's actually a radial-based robot at the moment. It's a secret. Not really. The robot. Always also just haven't tested it on stream. Because you've been so inundated with the commanders. But this, the current design is that he has 3 different radial attacks, and he is very just large and intimidating. He has jet, is the other thing. I want to make it canonical that Pirate Lady ends up stealing this later. So like, the whole idea is that A-types are single target damage, whereas, and the thing that A-types really can't do very well is hitting multiple targets, unless they have like overload. But generally speaking, they can't hit multiple targets. Whereas E-types and G-types and S-types and I-types all kind of have access to AoE. A-types do not have access to AoE. So like, what's the least A thing that we could possibly do was the design prompt. And I came up with a dude that is pretty much explicitly multi-target AoE. No evasion will help you here. Oh god. I wonder if we could make Cal a more likable person than Yuna. I don't remember anything about those characters. Final Fantasy X, overrated! I do remember Waka because he was Bender. I remember Oron because he was the coolest. And I don't remember the main character. Was it Cameron Diaz? Cameron Diaz was the main character of Final Fantasy X, right? That opening in the bottom is just a giant band shell. Oh my god! Yeah, okay, so this is where the pop stars throw their band, throw their concerts down here. James Arnold Taylor. Really, I thought it was. I totally thought it was Cameron Diaz, like from There's Something About Mary. Pretty sure Cameron Diaz was the star of that. Let's not make this robot excessively tall with a giant spike. Alright, so I think we have like something going here. Ha 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 ha. Like one of my favorite reaction gifs ever. Just reaction videos. It's just posting the Titus laugh. Dun, dun, dun. On par with B-movie memes. Yeah, B-movie memes are pretty choice. That movie Valerian's supposed to be good. I haven't been paying attention to its reviews or whatever. But it feels like they should have just made it an animated movie. Because that's what it feels like. It's just an animated movie with 2 live action actors. It reminds me of like Shark Boy and Lava Girl a little bit. How like the CGI is done. One of these days I want to rewatch Spy Kids in Shark Boy and Lava Girl with the context that it is by the director of Machete. Because when I was a kid or a teenager or whatever, I didn't really realize that. And I want to rewatch it again just to see how completely bizarre it is. Alright, see you later, Reggie. Yeah, I could totally see them doing that, cutting out all the plot. It's like Hollywood execs are really dumb and short-sighted. It's like, maybe if you gave us a plot with characters worth investing in, you would be able to milk the franchise. But they won't. Instead they're just like, well, no one cares. I bet kids won't care about the plot, so as long as you make it shiny, people will go see it. And that's all they care about, is the short-term rewards. Then again, people are kind of dumb. This is the audience that keeps giving the Transformers movie $1 billion after $1 billion. Da da da. What if this part were also segmented off? That's controversial opinion. Oh, there's no really visible weapons on him right now, though, so that's like an issue. They have like a runic circle floating around him, like a robotic runic circle, kind of like the one that's on the back of Arc Infinity. Hello, Steven. Wasn't it? I mean, I can see them. It seems like they're... I don't know anything about the source material. Maybe the source material was, like, mature and good. But definitely, from the look of the movie, it looks like they were trying to, you know, appeal very much to, like, the young adult crowd, like Divergence and stuff. Who knows, maybe it's actually just like Bridge to Terabithia, and they lure you in with the kids movie, and then they destroy you. That'd be cool. We need more movies like Bridge to Terabithia. Teach those kids that going to the movies isn't always all fun and games. Man, I haven't seen Neverending Story in such a long time. That was like the most annoying thing about Tangled, in my opinion. Was that like Disney movies aren't allowed to have consequences. Like, kill characters. Bad things happen. Show that the kid has to deal with it. Kubo. Kubo and the Two Strings, man. Show your kid that and tell him to man up. Funny, everyone who saw Kubo says it's a good movie, but too bad nobody saw Kubo. I saw that movie 4 times. Underperformed so hard. It literally only appeals to people who are like appreciative of the animation medium. But normies aren't really like that. What a weird thing that I'm drawing. What is this? Yeah, I don't understand how Suicide Squad got any Oscars. I think it won an Oscar for makeup or something, but at the same time there was like another movie or two that had like incredible makeup. But like, for some reason Suicide Squad got like an Oscar for Harley Quinn's stupid outfit. It just looks, it's like, how hard is it to just, I mean really? It just looks like a Juggalo. It's not really it's not really that great of a costume. People in real life like that all the time in like the year 2011. Yeah, the front spike became a floaty bit, and now I'm like, I don't know if I like it anymore. It looks like a pirate. It looks like a sky pirate ship. I was like, I need it to look like a robot too. Alright, let's see. I refined the hell out of that. I know this is agonizing. I swear I will find a good design for this robot. I'm not gonna look up anything while I'm on stream, man. You go paste me, Epstein, you go find me some reference images and paste them in the chat. I'm not sure what a spelljammer ship is. If it's really boring, I will never forgive you. I wonder what's giving me more trouble, drawing those level 4 or drawing Scott's commander. Why would I look up reference images after the stream? I'm trying to get the robot done during the stream. Otherwise I would be down at the 7-Eleven and throwing myself in the refrigerator until they noticed. Maybe I'll actually just make it look like the giant heads from Rick and Morty. Show me what you got. And that will actually just be the level 4 AEGIS type. Oh, hey, Mudry, what's good? It was good seeing you at the Red Robin the other day. Who is calling me? I'll call you back later. Alright, so Sky Giant Pirate Ship thing X. Gonna look at like this, and it's gonna go like this, and it's gonna be really sweet. These days I really need to schedule myself another day where I just think up draw robot concept art for like 6 hours. So I can use it for like the next few years like the last time I did so. Ugh. Stupid flying piece of crap. Let's see here. Do I make it look like the Great Fox from Star Fox? I could make it look like the Great Fox from Star Fox, oh my god. Red Robin, yum. They remodeled that place and I don't like it. All the places from my childhood are going away, and by that I mean getting a paint job. If I actually made it like so, I have an idea. What if I put a giant Empire emblem on the front of it? That would definitely help if I had a robot design first. Is this the best that I can do? Is this the end? Maybe I actually just go back to this design and just make it work. You are free to use this idea. Bot is more or less two giant bipedal speakers. The commander uses a microphone, possibly an S-type, maybe a J-pop style. Hey Bryfox, guess who came up with an idea for your for your official level 3 or level 4 robot? The level 4 robot's gonna basically be that dude from Mad Max. You're gonna be the Doof Warrior. Except as a J-pop idol. Just reattach the front spike. Yeah, pretty much. Nausicaa style Doof Warrior. Yep, there it is. So we come to the AEGIS stream so we can establish future canon. Magic Slinky. Hello Magic Slinky, welcome to the AEGIS chat. What brings you here? And how did you find out about the chat? Are you perhaps one of our Discord patrons? Or did you find us on Twitter? Let's see here. You've come at a very good time, where I am struggling to draw the skyship. That's a level 4 robot in the game. I sell magic and magic accessories. I'll tell you what. I was going through game dev and saw this and I clicked. I am a simple person. Hello, well, if you want to know what on earth this is for, you can go to robotstrategygame.com. We made a game that's basically Pokemon meets Voltron. And then I promised a lot of stuff with stretch goals, which I am now reaping what I have sown. So it's Pokemon meets Voltron. Make a team of 5 robots. You put them together. It's a tactics board game. It's made with like whatchamacallit. It was made with like Fire Emblem and Transformers in mind. So it's like a tabletop tactics game for people who like digital tactics games. And people who like robots. That's nice, though. $100 robots. 100 robots, Rorty. Let's see. I don't know what this floating thing is, but I'm gonna make it into something. You'll see. You'll all see. $100 robots, Morty. We couldn't have just shipped with the 80 we had, Morty. The link in the FAQ doesn't actually link to the Kickstarter, by the way. Where does that URL go? That URL should probably just redirect to our Kickstarter page, I think. Oh, the FAQ on our Twitch page. That's relevant. Thank you for telling me that. I mean, who actually catches that? Apparently I didn't. So thank you for that. I guess I'll update the Twitch page after this, if I remember. Hi, Marjorie. Stupid flying thing. You know, maybe I'll actually just have some frickin' bombs. Because you know what? Bombs are cool. Bombs are cool. Breeze, 2017. Yeah, we don't actually update this Twitch page very often. I just, you know, stream on it. So I'd like to update like the graphic that says Kickstarter. I think our away graphic might say Kickstarter live or Kickstarter coming soon, but I just haven't had the wherewithal to change it. We had a graphic design intern, but now he is gone. And he was the one that was mostly handling the Twitch page. Because while I'm doing like 500 things, it was nice to have a boy who would update our social media and stuff. Sadly, interns can't stay interns forever. Buster Mott's. My mozzarella. So you get that sweet mozzarella. Mozzarella. Got that mozz. Break that mozz in half. Get that sweet mozzarella cheese. This is extremely coherent. This is where you see me have a mental breakdown on screen. Because I just start drawing mozzarella sticks instead. For like hours. Gonna have these little Scooty Scoot missiles. Scooty Puff Jr. It was nice to have a boy. Yeah, I feel ashamed that some of this is committed to the internet forever. My stream of consciousness was never meant to be saved. But yeah. That guy Kenny was a freaking savior. He was just like, he did like, he helped prepare like a lot of the graphics for the Kickstarter page. Like a lot of them. And then like a lot of our social media graphics too. Now he's just like ultra busy. And I think he's a pretty alpha kid. He wants to like head his own shop and make his own games. I think he's going to be very, very successful. Did I say Scooty Puff Jr.? Because that's also like a phrase that I just blurt out a lot, and then I don't remember. But yeah, this level 4 robot is Scooty Puff Sr. Alright, it's time to give it the big boy. Let's do... Whoops. No, you can go back down there. Where are you? A cup. You're gonna be the blue. Get some of that placeholder art down. I'll get to... Talent pool is very... Yeah, probably. It'll probably have like the white yellow from the S part in the front. And I'll just stick the whole thing on this, whatever color this is. Teal. Where's Emily when I need her? So what I'm doing here is that we're trying to ship a demo of the game within the next week or so. And some of the new robots don't have art yet. They just have mechanics. So what I'm doing is, just to reiterate, is just making some nice placeholder art that will roughly show what the final robot designs are before, like, I either do the finishing art or Mom does the finishing art. Uh-oh, my thing started spinning. And my fan also started spinning. If I leave my laptop on the desk for too long, it overheats, because it is 4,000 degrees in here. I'll probably make these missiles look more downward facing, because right now it looks like they're targeted and it can shoot guys, but that's not what the robot does. But whatever. So what's this guy's secondary color? It's probably mostly, it's really mostly like an ES type still, with like a bit of G and then a splash of S. I mean a splash of I. So let's... I can get like this pale yellow color, that's pretty cool. So it's, I didn't like me, I mean the answer is to that is that like making games isn't profitable. You have a completely different, so I think that overall tabletop games are easier to make money with, but profitable? Who knows? Actually, I would say that tabletop games are probably easy to make a profit with, honestly. Depending on Like, I think there's a lot of man hours that go into making a digital game, especially one that's even like respectable, unless you like really know how to control your scope and stuff. But like, meanwhile, one guy can make like the most over complicated board game in existence in probably a quarter of the time it would take, or like a tenth of the time it would take to make an equivalent digital game. So like, yeah, if we were making, if Aegis here were a digital tactics game, with like character animations and like online networked multiplayer and stuff, yeah, that'd be like that ain't happening. If we keep it like really scoped down and like had it be like 2D, then maybe it would be a thing. But just the idea of online networked multiplayer scares me. And then like bugs after you, and in board games you don't have to deal with bugs. That's the other thing. You spend a lot of time screwing around with bugs when you're making a digital game. In board games you can end up screwing around a lot, iterating and making the game fun and like retracing your steps as you accidentally change the wrong thing and you accidentally make it not fun. But for digital games, it's like, I want to put in a feature. I want the feature to be good. Oh wait, you screwed up. It takes you like a week to get the feature working, and then you realize it's not fun, and then you've wasted a week putting in a bad feature. Whereas when you're making a board game, you can figure out if your feature is bad pretty quickly. Just hoping you would build tabletop and then do it again for 30 minutes and build mobile. Yeah, that's all you really need to do, right? Well, that's the other thing, yeah. If you want to actually make money as a game designer in tabletop and you go through publishers, it's like, you get like nothing. So in order to sustain yourself as a game designer, you just have to continuously poop out quality small games. If you're going through publishers. If you're self-publishing, then you get to keep all the money. But still most of it goes to manufacturing. However, if you make a small game with very little overhead that happens to get like $5 quadrillion on Kickstarter, then yeah, you pretty much get to keep most of that and reinvest it into your next game and stuff. Whereas, if you make a digital game and if you make $500,000 with a board game on Kickstarter, you're like you're great. You're doing fine, and you probably don't have to worry that hard about, unless the game is like really overscoped. You probably are going to keep most of that money. But if you get $500,000 to make a digital game, it's not going to get you anywhere. Especially if it's like a medium-sized game or whatever. It's not like, even 500 grand is hard. You'll burn through it. Because like, if you 500 grand's like pretty good, but let's say your game takes like 10 people to make effectively. And you're paying them all like a salary to work on it constantly, then you're like, yeah, it burns down pretty fast, and you have to deal with like software licenses and all this other stuff. As I like rant. But like, if you get like 100 grand, then you're usually just kind of boned. Because I remember there was this really cool game on Kickstarter called Medora, and it looked like Zelda Minish Cap. It was just like a 2D action adventure game, and they got like 70 grand, right? And lo and behold, that wasn't enough to finish it, and they just let the project die. And I'm like, why? Well, they obviously mismanaged, and they probably, I think they said they realized early on that they have no idea that they didn't have enough money to finish it from the get-go, and they just weren't honest with people. But That's the sort of thing that can happen. It's very rare that you like see a Kickstarter for a board game like not ship. It just doesn't really happen because usually by the time they kickstart a board game's pretty much mostly done. And then you just need to like get China to manufacture it for you. Yeah, pretty much. It's like, yeah, 500 grand will keep you running for a year, but you know, like most indie games, yeah, if you can like really control your production schedule, it's good. Like, God, most games definitely usually end up running like 18 months to 2.5 years to come out if it's anything like crazy. That's where you kind of start running into problems. If you want to make a digital game, you really have to like net at least like $1 million if you want to make like an RPG or something really fancy. Speaking of which, Children of the Zodiacs just came out, and that's like a tactical RPG. I forget how much they made on Kickstarter. Anyone? I know Fox is familiar with the game. Someone should look that up real quick, because now I'm curious. I know that game was in production for quite a few years, and I'm not sure how they... I don't think they got enough money to sustain that long of a development. Maybe they just like did it out of Dude Bro who directed it. Just kind of did it out of pocket for a while, which is also the other thing. But I can't imagine that the game is profitable. Not that profit matters, I mean. God. Our goal as game designers is not to make money, it is to have credits on our tombstone for the cool stuff we made. Otherwise we could just make a ton more money doing literally anything else. $260,000, yeah, so when was their Fox, when was their Kickstarter? Was it in like, I thought it was in like 2014 or something? Or was it 2015? Money is everything. Oh yeah, see you later, Mudry. I think you already left. But or Undertale or Raccoon. I think Undertale guy is freaking dedicated. And plus I think he got like a pretty decent amount of money. He had like that fan base to support him. That's the other thing, like if you just hit it big before you start your first big project, then that obviously helps a lot. Oh, okay. Actually, I totally thought they funded before that, like way before that. So yeah, I wonder. I kinda wonder how much what their money breakdown really looked like. Because for all I know, it's like... Actually, from what I saw, their team image is reasonably large. But they probably like, maybe it's like mostly like a part-time hobby project or something. What kills you though is like finding a good programmer and just shoveling them money to finish the game. Because programmers don't like to stay if they're not making tons and tons of money. Because they can make tons of money elsewhere. That's like difficult. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't even think I was looking at the Discord chat. I don't think Kettle set up the page. I completely forgot about it. I don't know, if Kettle wants to fix it, it's all you. You can do it. Don't complain. But I'll probably end up doing it. I'll probably fix it. It's probably been like that forever. Whoopsie daisy. I think these things that look like stairs are actually going to be vents. So that will help the context of this a little bit. Alright, let's see here. Purple, purple, living in the ocean. Create clipping mask. %, go up. Draw some shadows. Remember kids, always set the layer at 50%. And that way you can draw it at 100% opacity. Techniques of tomorrow. I mean, yeah. Oblivion. I was looking at the Oblivion Kickstarter, and it was like, man, that's big. That's a lot. And like, kudos to them for, kudos to Chris. I'm sure Chris wouldn't have said, August unless he really, really meant it. But who knows? Meanwhile, I'm very adamant about trying to keep 2-hour schedule as much as I can. I don't want this game to be a year late. So I'm doing my best for you guys. It looks like Oblivion's like ridiculous anyway, so I'm not surprised that it's taking an extra bit of time. Especially with like, isn't that that's the Sentinels Kickstarter that came with the that car engine sized box that stores all of your Sentinels cards. It's like, God, I imagine that we're gonna have to do something like that with Aegis one day. The ultimate Aegis car robot storage containment unit. I'm like do this like eggshell color, super light eggshell color that we do with. This is the answer to a question no one asked, but why aren't more S-types yellow as opposed to like eggshell white? And the answer is yellow's ugly. It makes it look like the robots are McDonald's toys. So I always feel like I have trouble finding the right way to use yellow. I think it works way better as an accent than a like central color. In terms of like profitability, I'd say board games they're easier to make a profit off of, because you can drive yourself into financial ruin making a digital game that just maybe won't even sell. Yellow is crazy ugly, yeah. Right? Yeah, I can see the Hercules beetle thing. It's kind of like the, yeah, with like the face on the bottom and then the giant horn. And then this thing that looks like a freaking toenail. Oh, this is the thing where I could put the... What's going on? So dense. Every frame has so much going on. Yeah. Whoops. Just thinking about the new Steven Universe promo I saw. Jesus Christ. It's like, you know what, Rebecca Sugar, just keep taking me for the ride. The gray mask on the top might happen, it might do a thing. I'm just having a lot of trouble with this robot's design. I'm not a fan. Like, what happens if I... There's Captain Line Art again. I'm gonna duplicate the line art real quick and try an experiment. Give me that band shell back. Find band shell. Da 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 dum. Robotstrategygame.com. I'm so hot. Yeah, I would agree. Definitely makes it look much more intimidating. So it's like... Da-da-dum. So yeah, the thing with the game is that all your... Yeah, the robots are the ones that generate energy, right? So at the start of every turn, like every card the robots... Every robot card has a bunch of green dots on the top, right? And then you get that much energy on a given turn. And certain types of robots give more or less. So it's all about, like... It's like a team building game. The game loop's pretty... The core premise of the game is pretty simple. Where it's just like, you make a team that works well together with how much they produce and consume. And then, yeah, you just get that energy back every turn. If your robots die, you get less energy. If you combine, you generally get less energy, but then you also have less dudes to spend it on. So it all balances out. And then, yeah, energy doesn't accumulate, which is usually the relevant thing that people ask about. And then you can use some energy. Sometimes you can use energy on your opponent's turn to like attack back, depending on certain robots. But not every robot. See, people like it. I love it when people like the game. Even though I've seen lots of people like it, it's still really nice to be like, oh wow, the system's cool. I'm like, thank you. I don't like complicated things. So I just made a tactics game system that's simple, and then I can put lots of complicated junk on top of it. Yeah, but then yeah, so the energy system is the energy system's all whatchamacallit, easy to figure out. And then all the robots also are on the same syntax, so all the robot cards read the same. They all have like 1 or 2 attacks and maybe a passive or 2. And then you know, they do like your standard tactics game stuff, like healing and buffing and shooting guys. But each class, it's like each class is very different, like the 5 colors of magic. So you've gotta make sure you're building your dudes right, or your team right, or else you'll have some critical weaknesses. Let's see, because I'm Breeze, I'm taking the print and play to my next game night. I'll port back properly on Discord. Oh, well yeah, I mean, feel free. The current print and play that's up there kind of sucks though. Or I guess, well, it doesn't suck, it's just old. But yeah, feel free. If yeah, the actual suite. Because you don't actually get all of your energy back each round, only the ones you're able to do, so you actually plan out your strategies. Yeah, so once, yeah, like I said, yeah, once robots die, you don't get energy back. So, you don't want to charge in, you don't want to necessarily charge in and lose the dude that's producing a good bulk of energy on your team. So you want to, like, plan ahead a little bit. But that doesn't typically accumulate to the limit of energy you have. Oh no, there's no hard cap really. I guess the hard cap's like 25, but that's only because the most a robot that can, the most a basic robot can produce is 5, so you'll never have more than 25 energy usually. Generally teams will have, your average team will have between like 15 and 20. And then, like, if you go really hard into a certain strategy, you'll have more or less. Some teams can go up to, like, the high 20s, and some teams can give you, like, 10. Generally aren't the best strategies, but they are viable. All strategies are viable. Yep. Hard caps is just what you can produce. And then, whatchamacallit? So you can choose to use a bunch of guys that produce a lot of energy, but they ultimately might not be the best attackers in the world. Or you can choose the best attackers, but they might not be able to support themselves or the rest of the team very well. That's the idea. Flipping the table is viable. Yeah, pretty much. Oh man, you know what I've been watching? I've been watching that shit. I saw that movie. Has anyone ever seen Falling Down with Michael Douglas? Not economically viable. Yeah, energy can't be stored effectively. So usually you want to use it all between the start of your turn and the start of your next turn. Storing energy isn't usually as useful as it sounds anyway. Because yeah, like I said, there's a hard cap at 25. So it's like... you could theoretically net... yeah, I guess it would be really good, but... yeah. So yeah, you won't always have enough energy to move all of the guys on your turn is the other thing. So it's like, if you start your turn with 20 energy, you can move a guy 7 spaces, and then you're down to 13, and then maybe he has an attack that costs like 4, and now you're down to, like 9. And so you have 9 left to use across your other 4 guys. So it's like, you can commit a lot of energy to a single robot during your turn. So it's like, you, generally speaking, will not be able to do everything with every robot on each turn. Ahaha. Nice try. You think that the game will have this thing called profit. Alright, these are wimpy little missiles for level 4. Whatever. Yeah, I think it'll do pretty okay. So like, we have this version, and we have this version. We have this version, we have this version. They've been working on it forever, and it has historically gotten a lot of good press. at conventions and stuff. So now there's another game called Go Go. It's not called Go Go Combining Robo anymore. It's called Go Go Gatai, and I think they should have stuck with the first one because now it might be too niche. But that was actually, they're being published through Breaking Games, which are very good. Yeah, the forward-facing missiles, I think, work a little bit better, but it doesn't make a lot of sense with what the robot does mechanically. So it's like, how do I make design missiles? But it does go a lot better with the raw. If I can make the missiles look like the top thing, maybe that would tie it together a little more. Gotta tie together designs. Oh, I'm dying. Very hot. Anyway. Clean up this coloring a bit. I got this, I got this. There are no vessels in Robot Land, only robots that you can make friends with. But yeah, he totally does look like he's gonna like ram a mofo. This robot's design isn't especially flannelized, but I would like to try to make it so it doesn't have a single target attack, because that is an A-type thing. So I kind of wanted it to make maybe it should like a flying sky castle would have been better. That was more round overall, but I think this is still pretty cool. So we'll make the design work with the Level 4 robot. Ah. Yes. And she prays. Oh my God, do I pray? I pray every single day. Putting too much work into the shadows here. It's just a placeholder. It's just a placeholder. So yeah, the whole thing that makes this guy not this guy's an AEGIS, and the whole thing that makes it into an AEGIS is the fact that it's just not humanoid at all. It's like the main thing that you get visually out of merging with an A-type is that it's humanoid. So like a lot of the robots in the game are like actually like look like fighting robots. Like where's one? Oh, come to think of it, hey, look at this. I found something relevant that just happened to be right open when I thought. Open with Photoshop. Here is the original sheet of level 4 concept arts. So here we got Andrida, who's the AEIS type. He lacks the G. And in his final art, you'll see that his arms and legs are actually like made out of energy jello. He's like the most ethereal. He's lacking like the solidity of a G type. This guy's missing an S type. In his final art, he came out like really skeletal and weird looking because he doesn't have like the refinement and like the kind of bulkiness of an S type. This guy's everything but an E, and he's gonna look pretty similar to what we're gonna end up with. He has no form of flying whatsoever. He's just a big hulking monstrosity. And then AEGS type has no eye type influence. There's like no insectoid parts, no like thin gangly anything. He's actually just a flying missile punch machine. And then here's the only concept this guy was like the roughest sketch. He had an EGIS type. This is the one that I'm drawing now. Yeah, the AEGIS type was like one of my favorite robot designs ever, so I'm glad that we're finally able to like put it in. But yeah, this guy is what I'm drawing now. Or roughly what I was drawing now. So it's like, I probably should have looked at this a little bit more, because it's pretty cool. This one was based off of, there's a robot in Grand Lagan that's kind of similar to it. It's like a giant flying fortress, the one that Cytomander was obsessed with. I mean, it was his like personal flying fortress. It looked like a giant flying aircraft carrier. Yeah, so this guy is missing. Maybe it's actually just missing. It's interesting how you can get completely different concepts depending on what your creative mood is. Maybe it's actually just missing giant cannons like that one. Yeah. So, like, yeah, every type has like a very like a selection of abilities that it can do. Generally, E types get movement abilities. G types get like defensive or retaliatory abilities. I types get also kind of like evasive abilities and like other things. And then like stuff that like debuffs your opponent. S types get like heals and buffs and like rerolls and things that are generally helpful. And A types get stuff that just helps them attack better. So they'll get like stuff that lets them attack twice and things like that. And then when you start mixing and matching the robots together, you get like varying types of abilities. Like this guy is everything but an A, so he can do everything except for what A's can do, which is AoE attacks. A types cannot do AoE attacks. Yeah. I don't even necessarily like that other robot that much, but now I just feel like I haven't done so. I feel like this one was better. God damn it! It had like little landing treads. That was dumb though. Whatever. This guy just looks like he's lacking weapons. And there's like campy lore in the game and stuff too, in case you're wondering. G-types do punch stuff with their faces. Canonical G-type abilities 101. Dude, I totally have that robot. I concepted that robot. Where are we? I think I still have the level 2 dock open. Control 0. Yeah! Yeah, floaty, punchy, fisty robot will come eventually. I think I actually have like 2 of those. I definitely have one at level 1. I mean, I have one at level 2, that's an AI type, and I'm pretty sure I have like 1 or 2 at level 3 that have floaty fists. And I guess level 4 that we're getting has floaty fists. So, the AEGIS type. Now you're showing that there is demand for the dumb things that I have already worked on. Alright, let's see. This guy's legit. I'm gonna group together all your layers. I'm gonna hit group, and now I can make you go away. And now I'm gonna look at this guy again. I'm gonna color him in. Need to color capture the teal. Oh. This guy's on a white background. Multiply! What? Oh, never mind. God damn it! Yeah, it's penis, whatever. Actually, one of the problems with S-types is that they're all very phallic. Really dumb. It's a dumb design problem to have. So you said you were browsing game dev, and do people actually stream themselves coding? Because that just seems fascinating. Sometimes, on rare occasions, I stream myself doing like production work in Photoshop. That always seems like it's much less interesting than... Huh, that's funny. Yeah, I figured most streams were always like, various other game development things, like art or testing out visual stuff. Wasn't aware that people like wasn't aware that people stream themselves coding and all that. Pretty cool. Oh man, there's one guy that has such a gorgeous 2D game. All the amount of things you can do in the game world, but in 2D. All those things don't have a purpose. Describe that more? Like, what do you mean? Like, is he just like building an open world 2D game, but there's no aim or goal or something, or? Yeah, you'll see that a lot. I mean, sometimes artists like make games, but they don't know how to design, and vice versa. Or somebody will make a game, but they have no idea what art direction to put on it, so they default to make it look like Monument Valley or some other lazy ass crap. It's very rare to have somebody have a really good artistic vision and a good design vision. They have almost unparalleled interaction. This guy has so many moves and so many power-ups with so many actions the dude can do, but they just have no purpose. Yeah, it's really easy to get into that. It's like baby's first game design problem. Back in college when I was making like a shoot 'em up, I didn't really care about what the game's purpose was at all. I just kept adding more and more weapons because I was basically learning how to code. And it's like, I want every single possible crazy weapon. I want my ship to transform into a robot. I want this and I want that. And but then yeah, sometimes you really get lost in the minutia. Like robots. Our game has a lot of robots. So it's been a struggle to not get lost in the minutia of it all. It's like, at least our game is kind of structured as like a team building game, so like no matter what we throw in, somebody somewhere will find a purpose for it. Obviously we're trying to have robots have more purpose than that, but It's hard because, like, yeah, if you make, like, an open world game and you give the guy 5 trillion different cool things he can do, but yeah, there's no purpose to do any of it. That's the worst. I kind of felt that way about, like, Shadow of the Colossus a little bit, where there's so many cool, sweet little animations, like you can hang off the side of the horse and stuff, but it didn't have any purpose. Your character had a basic slashing animation that was used maybe once in the entire game. Well, except for maybe to kill lizards. I guess it was used more than once at that point, but... Yeah, that's completely true too. It's like you can... If you start at the bottom and you just start designing cool powers for the character to do, then yeah, then you're gonna have a lot of trouble later. So you really need... That's why like when I was designing AEGIS, I mean, definitely wanted to have it, whatchamacallit. It definitely had to have that core design, like, system, that, like, core system. And then we figured out all the weird, crazy things we could do with it. As opposed to just, like, starting from scratch and, like, designing weird robots that could do something on a grid. And then, figuring out a cohesive system to make it all make sense in context. You really have to lay a foundation first. The timeline makes so much sense. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, Zelda's always been warp. Zelda's always been a little bit gameplay first. And like the story is there just to kind of give a point to it. More important than Zelda's story is the world building though. Because like there's no point in having in a game where you're doing so much exploring if the world is completely uninteresting. Every time they do the Zelda game to make sure the world's really interesting. Except for Twilight Princess. Why that game sucked. Like, let's make the characters and world as dry and miserable as possible. Except for, like, Midna. Yeah, that's completely true. That's the other thing too, even though Breath of the Wild's like a 5 million hour game, they only give you 4 powers to work with. Like Bomb, Time Stop, Freeze, and Magnet. And everything else is mostly like not as important. And then you have like light weapon, heavy weapon, bow. And I think that's like it, pretty much, for different weapons that you can acquire, and like shields too, obviously. But for the most part, yeah, it's like light weapon, heavy weapon, bow. 4 powers. That's it. And then all the design went into making the objects that those things interacted with. And like the various arrows. You know, like fire arrow, ice arrow, bomb arrow, lightning arrow, arrow. And like those are the relevant arrows. And there's like the I kill guardians arrow. That's not really a tool. Yeah, they didn't give Link like... They didn't even give Link as many items and tools as he would normally have in other games. They just give him like 4 or 5 things he can do. Because he didn't need them. It's like the game's already solid enough without them. You kind of missed the hook shot though. The hook shot would have been nice. It probably would have broke the game though. Because all of a sudden you never climb anywhere again. Shark Bro is not optional. You are correct, it is not. Now that he's put in so many features in the game, he has to like go back and figure out what the purpose of all of this. So he has to like, oh, I put in a cool rolling dodge. Well, guess what? Now you need to design an enemy that makes use of that rolling dodge. Or I designed this super sweet projectile attack. Well, now you need to design a dungeon or an enemy or a series of enemies that makes it so you want to use that attack. What was I looking at today? I was actually looking at some of my PS2 games. I was looking at like a Musashi Samurai Legend for the PS2, where it was just a generally poorly designed game, even if the graphics are really cool and the art style was really cool. The action was kind of bad, really repetitive. But they gave you like 20. There's like 20 different custom slicing moves that you can do. But like, only 2 of them do anything different, and you never actually need to use most of them. The most important one in the game is just the one where you can throw the damn sword. And then every other one is just a variant on cut the enemy to pieces. And so it's like, they definitely didn't have the enemy variety to back up needing that. It was mostly just to show off the... It was to show off the technology they made, where you could cut enemies into ribbons and it would be actual pieces. Square Enix did it like 10 years before Platinum did with Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. It wasn't nearly as sophisticated, but they did it. Oh my god, the stream's gone on for too long. I think we've rolled on to like the next video. I don't recognize this piano stuff! Yeah, what is this? Yes, there's a relaxing piano Ghibli collection now. Taking too long to color junk in. I guess this guy will be like a sky shark. Or he'll be like light on the bottom but blue on top, kinda, for the most part. I think that's a cool idea. Sky shark! And then back to where we started. With this guy. Free me from this hell. Liberate me from hell. Let's see here. Stop spinning the fan, computer. Be strong. Three, two, are you on your phone? Makes sense. I always forget that you can like look at Twitch on your phone. The thing that I originally did with this tail and the art that I drew a very long time ago is that it was actually a giant glass tube with energy inside. It kind of looked like a, the Amida drive. No, different thing. The Shizuma drive from Giant Robo. It was like a giant, yeah, it was a giant like glass, like electric cylinder. And that's why he had like a T-Rex tail that just stuck straight out. I think I might still incorporate that somehow. Let's take the purple. You should just go to that guy's page and like be like, man, stop adding features. Stop. You're gonna hurt yourself. Because inevitably he will give up when he realizes he's made a big mistake. Either that or he's gonna have to cut like half the things that he's done. I mean, the thing about novice designers is they don't like cutting things that they've spent time making. I don't even like cutting things that I spent time making. But I have learned that it is Probably one of the most invaluable skills you can have as a game developer is knowing when to kill your babies. Or at least throw them in the fridge. Nudge you over just a little bit. Like my cheap and use like my cheap way to do like lightning orbs. Did it? My god, this guy is a rush job. But I think his color palette was pretty straightforward. Looks like the old one, but with some purple on him. Okay. Hotness is hot. Great clipping mask. Pasha! Whoa. Wrong clipping mask. What just happened? Yeah, sexy, dead sexy. Amazing what drop shadow can do. Alright, next. I guess next is actually just back to this guy. Anyone here play Tales of Symphonia? You'll just have like an official list of nicknames for every robot that you can find on our website, and that'll be That'd be pretty funny. Whoops. I drew some stuff on the wrong layer. Oh well. Yeah, this one will be called Pistachio. Is now the current canon name. It is now the current canon name for this robot. It is Pistachio. You put proper sheen on him. Ah! And then there's this guy. Jesus God. And this guy's name is Skyhead. Taserface. Shadows. Thank you for stopping by, Mr. Slinky. It is a pleasure to have you. It's always great to see new faces. Okay, let's see. I think I'm almost done. The Predator flagship. Yeah. I have some cool rings floating around these, and I'll probably try to make this eye-type thing up here overall match the kind of aesthetic of whatever those things are down there. Bombs. So yeah, man, alright, I think I'm tired. These guys are good. Good enough to go on cards. Matches the things that they do mechanically well enough. And then we'll come back and polish them next month. And get their final art done. Alright. I think we're going to sign off, and then, because my computer's going to melt. Alright. Thank you for joining me.